Um, what's her name? She just became an independent overnight.
Who did?
Oh, our senator, Sinema.
Cinema?
Sinema is now an independent as
She
of yes.
is?
Yep, she came on TV last night and says, "I am no longer a Democrat. I am an independent now." Yep,
Wow.
yep. They
I
have
didn't
one
know that. And I live
spot.
in Arizona. I didn't know that.
Yep. Hell yeah.
I just found an article. Let's look at it
Yeah.
before we
Go
leave
do it.
because
Hit it.
this is relevant. So Cinema switches to independent, shaking up the Senate. Do you see the article?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't know this. So the Arizona senator won't say whether she's running for re-election, but said in an interview she doesn't expect to change in how the Senate operates. Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema is changing her party affiliation to independent, delivering a jolt to Democrats' narrow majority in Washington along with it. In a 45-minute interview, the first-term senator told Politico that she will not caucus with Republicans and suggested that she intends to vote the same way she has for 4 years in the Senate. Quote, "Nothing will change but my values or my behavior." Provided that Sinema sticks to the vow, Democrats will still have a workable Senate majority in the next Congress, though it will not exactly be the neat and tidy 51 seats they assumed. They're expected to also have the votes to control Senate committees, and Sinema's move means Senator Joe Manchin, a pivotal swing vote in the 50-50 chamber the past 2 years, will hold on to some, but not all, of his outside influence in the Democratic caucus. Sinema would not address whether she will run for re-election in 2024 and informed Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of her decision on Thursday. Quote, "I don't anticipate that anything will change about the Senate structure," Sinema said, adding that some of the exact mechanics of how her switch affects the chamber is, quote, "a question for Chuck Schumer. I intend to show up to work, do the same work I always do. I just intend to show up to work as an independent." She said her closely held decision to leave the Democratic Party reflects that she's, quote, "never really fit into a box of any political party." A description, she said, also applies to her fiercely independent state and millions of unaffiliated voters across the country. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sinema, as you said, she is an independent.
Yeah. Change right on. So does that leave an open spot for her now, or what?
What do you mean?
Well, we didn't hire or vote in an independent. Well whoever they are, because I didn't do it, but um, she was voted in as a Democrat, not an independent.
Yeah,
Does
but
that change?
you can always change your party affiliation. I mean, the
Well, I know
party
that, but
affiliation is not a constitutional thing, so you can change your party affiliation anytime you want. You know what I mean?
so we vote you in as a Democrat, but and all of a sudden you get in and you go, I'm a Republican now. You can
Yeah,
do that.
actually, that happened in I think that just happened actually in like either Virginia or West Virginia. They had a state senator who was like, you know what, I'm not a Democrat anymore. It
Okay.
happens. Party
Yeah.
affiliation is not something that's not constitutional. So it's like you can change your party affiliation anytime you want. Anytime
All
you
right.
want.
Cool.
The thing that this affects, right, is whether she runs for re-election. That's what kind of the article is talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue is, will she run for re-election as an independent? And, will the Democrats have to have their party person? The Republicans have her party person? This could be really interesting because we might have a three-way race in Arizona, and if she decides to run for re-election, right?
Yeah.
That's when it gets interesting. But
Yeah.
hey, kudos for her. I've said good things on this program about Sinema because
Yeah.
Sinema, I feel like she is independent.
Yeah.
She actually does. And by the way, I'm not trying to be like, oh, she's great or something like that. I think she's actually very pragmatic. She knew that the Senate is divided, very closely. It was 50-50, which it's not anymore. We didn't talk about Georgia, but Georgia happened, and now it's 49 Republicans to the rest. It's not 50-50 anymore, but it used to be 50-50, and Sinema understood that. And because it was 50-50, she made herself relevant by being a swing voter, right? And which I thought was actually pretty brilliant politically. Whereas Mark Kelly, he's just a whipping boy for the Democratic Party. He just does whatever Biden tells him to do, you know? So I give kudos to Sinema about that. I didn't know she went independent. So I don't know. You know, the more I think about it, I'm like, if she does run for re-election, maybe I will vote for her. You know?
Right.
I'm just saying, I'll throw it out there. I'm just like, I think I might. Plus, she's kind of hot. Is it okay to say that? I think Sinema's pretty hot. So
yeah, you can say whatever you want. This is the United States of America.